Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to this holy night and also this difficult night. Good Friday is the one day of the year when we as a church try not to rush through things. We try not to skip to the ending, and we try not to reassure ourselves too quickly. Instead, we stay in the shadow and in the weight of what this day holds and what it means. So for this evening, we're going to practice an ancient Christian liturgy called tenebrae, meaning shadows or darkness. And we will move through 7 moments of reflection as we embark on our way towards the cross. And within each shadow, a candle will be extinguished. And after each reflection, we will respond together, not only with words, but with our hands. You should have been given a piece of fabric as you walked in this evening. We ask you to please hold on to this, because after each of these 7 reflections, the liturgist will invite us into a call and response. They will say, "Christ crucified, you journeyed this road before us." And we all will say, as we journey with you, our hearts are torn. And then we will tear a strip from the fabric. We will tear it together as a sign of our own torn hearts, our solidarity with the suffering of Christ, and our solidarity with all those who suffer in our world. And at the close of the service, you'll be invited to bring those torn pieces forward and place them on the cross or at the foot of the cross. If you were hoping to simply observe this service from a distance, I apologize. We're asking everyone to enter in as you can. For those who are joining us online, you may not have a piece of fabric available to you, but we do invite you maybe to grab a few sheets of paper. And after each of our reflections, when it's time to strip our fabric, maybe you can rip your paper, just as a sign of your torn heart. And if you're new to ELPC, maybe this is your first time or your first time in a good while, we're glad you found your way here. Of all the nights to walk through these doors, this one matters for us. There are new here cards in your pew back. You can fill out one of those cards if you'd like and hand it to myself or one of my fellow clergy folk, and we would love to be in communication with you and pray with you during this Holy Week. As you leave tonight in silence, I hope you will come back tomorrow. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, we have an Easter Vigil, one of the most ancient and beautiful services of the church year. And then, of course, Easter Sunday, we have a service at 8:45 and then at 11 a.m. But that is all for the next few days. Today, let us remain in the dark of sorts. Let us embrace the shadows that are before us. I invite you now to please rise in body or spirit, and let us sing our first hymn.
Would you join me in a spirit of prayer? God of the shadows and darkness, thank you for being a God of solidarity with all the suffering of humanity and creation itself, and your deep and raw emotion amidst it. Thank you for not enduring violence in silence, but for speaking, crying, and lamenting as your body was broken on the cross. Help us tonight to further understand that our memory of you becomes more whole as we survey your cross, where you suffered alongside all the injustice of the world, the hunger, the abuse, the war, the loneliness. Tonight, let us grieve the path of the cross, illness and violence, alienation, the degradation of the land, and all pain that is unspoken. Let us weep and rest. Reveal yourself to us in the words we hear, the hymns and songs we sing, the prayers we pray, and perhaps most of all in the silence. Remind us that you bore and know the very weight of oppression, and help us believe that you are truly with us and this world in the rending of our hearts this evening. Amen.
The governor said to them, "Which of the two do you want me to release?" And they answered, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "Then what should I do with Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" All of them said, "Let him be crucified."
Christ stands alone. His friends have scattered. The crowd that welcomed him days ago now calls for his execution. The system does what systems do. It processes him, labels him, moves to dispose of him, and he faces it without a single person willing to stand beside him. We know something about that kind of aloneness. We know what it means to be caught in something too large to fight. A legal system that moves without mercy. A diagnosis that arrives without warning. A grief that empties the room. We know what it means to look around and find that the people we counted on are gone. The incarcerated know it most acutely. Awaiting trial in a jail cell because bail is unaffordable. Serving a sentence under mandatory minimums while families drift away. Facing the machinery of the state with no one in their corner. Jesus was condemned by those he came to love. He was not spared that loneliness. And so he knows what it means to walk that road. He walks it still, with every person the world has decided to throw away.
Christ crucified, you journeyed this road before us. As we journey with you, our hearts are torn.
From the Gospel of Mark, chapter 15, verse 21. They compelled a passerby who was coming in from the country to carry Jesus' cross. It was Simon of Cyrene, the father of Alexander and Rufus.
Simon did not volunteer. He was far from home, pulled from the crowd and pressed into service by soldiers with no interest in his consent. He carried a cross that was not his. We might know something about that. We know what it means to be pressed into solidarity. To be confronted with suffering we did not ask to witness. Needs we did not plan for. Neighbors whose burden became ours whether we chose them or not. Solidarity is not a feeling, it is a practice. It is showing up especially when it is inconvenient, especially when it costs us something, especially when it causes us to carry our own cross. Scripture remembers Simon's name. It remembers his sons, Alexander and Rufus. Known in the early church, his reluctant act of presence became part of the gospel. He did not choose it. He did not want it. And it is written down anyway. We do not always get to choose which of our acts of presence will matter. We only get to choose whether we show up.
Christ crucified, you journeyed this road before us. As we journey with you, our hearts are torn.
A great number of people followed him, and among them were women who were beating their breast and wailing for him. But Jesus turned to them and said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children."
Jesus, barely able to walk, turns to the women weeping for him, and instead of receiving their comfort, he redirects their grief. Do not weep for me. Weep for what is coming. Weep for the systems that make this possible. Throughout the Gospels, Jesus listens most carefully to those society listens to least. He stops for the ones no one else is interested in hearing. He insists that those experiencing suffering are not objects of pity. They are the ones who understand most clearly what is broken. In our city, in our country, how often do we assume we already know the answers to problems we have never lived? We strategize about poverty without listening to those who's experiencing it. We design solutions for communities we have never spent time in. We talk about survivors without asking them what they need. Jesus does not strategize about the women of Jerusalem. He stops. He turns. He speaks to them directly. He does not speak about them, but with them, and then he keeps journeying towards his death. When did we last stop? When did we last turn towards someone whose grief was inconvenient to witness and ask them what they needed, instead of deciding for them?
Christ crucified, you journeyed this road before us. As we journey with you, our hearts are torn.
When they came to the place that is called the School, they crucified Jesus there with the criminals, one on his right and one on his left. Then Jesus said, "Abba, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing."
This is state execution. Let us not soften it. Rome crucified people as a public spectacle. It was a message to everyone watching: stay in line, do not threaten the empire, and see what happens to those who do. Jesus was killed by the government on a government instrument of death for the crime of announcing that another kingdom was possible. In our own nation, this practice has not ended. It has taken other forms. The history of lynching in America is the history of racialized state and extrajudicial violence. Bodies displayed publicly. Crowds gathered. The terror was organized and it was deliberate. Billie Holiday, she sang its truth in 1939, and the radio refused to play it. Some truths are too uncomfortable for polite company. We are not polite company tonight. We are a people who follow one who was executed by the empire, and we are called to say clearly, it was wrong then, it is wrong now. God's kingdom does not look like this. And yet from the cross, Jesus does not cry out in rage. He calls out to Abba. It's not the formal address of a subject to a sovereign. It's the word a child uses. The cry of someone who still, in the moments of being destroyed, reaches for the very one who loves them. Abba, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Maybe these are words of radical resistance. They are a refusal to let hatred have the last word, even in the moment of its greatest violence.
Christ crucified, you journeyed this road before us. As we journey with you, our hearts are torn.
Southern trees bear a strange fruit. the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar tree. Pastoral scene of the gallant South. The bulging eyes and the twisted mouth. Scent of magnolia, sweet and fresh, and the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for the trees to drop. Here is a strange and bitter crop.
From noon on, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. And about 3 o'clock, Jesus cried with a loud voice, "Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani?" That is, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Then Jesus cried again with a loud voice and breathed his last.
My God, why have you forsaken me?" Jesus dies quoting Psalm 22, a song of desolation so complete it cannot find God anywhere. This is not a failure of faith. This is faith pressed to its uttermost limit, crying out into darkness without a guaranteed answer. We know this darkness. We know what it is to pray and hear nothing. We know what it is to do everything right, to march, to organize, to show up, to care, and to watch things get worse. We know what it is to lose someone to a disease that could have been treated, to violence that could have been prevented, to systems that grind people down no matter how hard they fight. The Jesuit priest Greg Boyle writes that success and failure have little to do with living the gospel. Jesus stood with the outcast until they were welcomed or until he was crucified, whichever came first. And so tonight, it is crucifixion that comes first. And we do not rush past this. We remain in the dark with the unanswered question. Easter is not yet. What is true on Good Friday is this: that love sometimes leads to loss. Faithfulness sometimes ends in death. And the cry goes up and the sky goes dark and there is no answer. There are only the shadows.
Christ crucified, you journeyed this road before us. As we journey with you, our hearts are torn.
After these things, Joseph of Arimathea, who was a disciple of Jesus, though a secret one because of his fear, asked Pilate to let him take away the body of Jesus. Pilate gave him permission, so he came and removed his body.
Joseph of Arimathea was afraid. This text is honest about that. He had kept his faith hidden, afraid of what it would cost him to be publicly associated with Jesus. Yet, when the moment came, when there was a body that needed tending and everyone else had fled, Joseph stepped forward. Rome might have dismissed Jesus, but even the dismissed ones deserve dignity. Joseph asked for the body. He stood in front of Pilate, the same Pilate who had just ordered the execution, and asked for the body of the man the empire had just killed. He took it down from the cross. He wrapped it in clean linen, the way you wrap something precious. He buried it with care, a quiet, irreversible act of mercy, performed by a man who had spent most of his life keeping his head down. We think today of those in our world who are not given a dignified death, migrants who die at borders and are buried without names, victims of violence whose cases go cold, people who die alone. We cannot do everything, but we can do something. We can be Joseph, afraid, quiet, doing the thing that needs doing anyway.
Christ crucified, you journeyed this road before us. As we journey with you, our hearts are torn.
Jesus was laid in a tomb that had been hewn out of the rock. Joseph then rolled a stone against the door of the tomb. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Jesus, saw where the body was laid.
The stone is rolled across the door, and the women watch. They note the place, and they do not leave. There is a ministry in staying when there is nothing left to do, and sitting with grief that has no resolution, and not rushing to the next thing, the next task, the answer, or the silver lining. This is the in-between, the space between devastation and whatever comes next. We are invited to live there tonight, not to manufacture hope we do not feel, not to skip ahead to Easter, but to stay with what is true right now. The stone is rolled, and the tomb is sealed. The story is not finished. Christian hope is not simple optimism. It is not the insistence that everything will be all right. It is something harder. The stubborn, aching refusal to believe that the stone is the end of the story, even when you cannot see past it. The women do not go home. They stay and they watch. And they remember where the body was laid. And that is all we are asked to do this day. To stay, to watch, to remember.
Christ crucified, you journeyed this road before us. As we journey with you, we hold what remains.
We've carried torn strips of fabric through the shadows this evening, representing your grief, your solidarity, or your torn heart. In a few moments, you'll be invited to lay your torn strips of fabric either at the foot of the cross, or you can tuck it under the rope that is on the cross. People of God, we have lingered in the shadow of sorrow, bearing witness to the unjust suffering of the one we call Christ. And amidst our heartache and our fear, we recall the words of Jesus in John chapter 19. It is finished.